I'm not supposed to touch my nose. And it is 28th of May,
cool.
2020. And I'm not supposed to touch my nose like I just did. WIKISPEED Standup. Go ahead, Lauren.
And I'm happy to note that there's an actual audible warning that recording comes on. I don't know if you heard that. It was good. Okay, so Lawrence Salter, Gabriel Island, British Columbia, and the past week. See, I kind of read up on programming a bit. I can't think of anything else. Coming week, same as this week. Red tape, boring stuff, and two tasks to do with the more urgent one is the charitable reporting, and on the fun side, go ahead with Raspberry Pi, either generic Blinky things or the wagon project, the little truck, and also ordering the soldering equipment and a completed version of the Pi Cobbler T. So I'm not going to I'm going to go slow with the soldering, and because I'll know the complete version is on its way. That's coming week. Blocks are my laptop gave up. I think I mentioned that before, and the taxes. I can't get my Linux to connect to my Epson 410 printer. So if anybody knows anything. And I can't get a hold of the network guy. I think he is, there's like dozens of people who suddenly need their computer systems working better. So our network guy on the island has been unavailable. So I haven't solved that. So, but today, I'll talk in crosstalk about how I solved the problem that I didn't have a scanner or a printer and how I signed my taxes. And that's it.
Okay, Michael Wolchuk, Saskatoon, Canada. Last week, about the only thing I got done was to sign up WIKISPEED at gmail.com for a Dropbox, the free 2 gig Dropbox. So Jitsi now records on the cloud, which is better than taxing my rather limited bandwidth. So if I can add to your backlog for next week, Lauren, I'd like you to log in to WIKISPEED and start the recording next week to make sure that either of us can do it. We don't have to have one person specific. Next week, I am hoping to get a little bit more done on the Little Red Dragon project, but I've had not a lot of luck with Sunfounder, wherever I bought the little kit from. They sent me a message saying, "Can you check the voltage for us on the connector?" There's like 12 connectors on the board, so I guessed, and I sent them some information, and I haven't heard back from them yet. So I'm not sure if they were satisfied, if they weren't satisfied. We'll see. And I haven't started my backlog for next week. Also includes ordering some replacement Raspberry Pis. I need at least 2, so I'm probably going to get 3. And blocks, besides time, not much. I guess over to you. Hello, Lauren.
Hello.
I'm done. You're next.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. I didn't catch that. So processing. Oh yeah. Me 3. The team 7. A process improvement. Now I want to kind of reinforce yours for a while that tightening up the Scrum process and backlog grooming and Scrum, getting with the aim of getting something interesting done. So I'm more convinced than ever, in fact, that the boring stuff, and it's not so boring, but the stuff that takes a little bit of thought and concentration, maybe initially a little less fun, but possibly more once you get into it, is the key. And that's it for me.
Okay, I'm going to give myself a 3. Yeah, 6 or 7 for the team. We're plugging along. Not unfortunately getting very much done. And process improvement. Yeah, I guess I could agree with trimming the backlog. As I get less and less done during the week, I plan more and more for what I can get done. And when this is done, I can get that done and that done and that done. And when you don't get the first one done, it doesn't really help that you've got the other stuff written down. So maybe trimming the backlog makes sense. Are we into crosstalk? I think that means we're done.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things is, so you've tested the Dropbox, like speed and so forth? The recording?
I tested that it was recording. I'm assuming that since both of our video goes through a server somewhere, that it will have the bandwidth to do a decent recording.
Cool.
I don't know that, but I guess
Right.
we'll find out when we post this one. Oh yeah, I was supposed to post last week's video and I kind of forgot about it. We had one in Jitsi and one in Zoom, and I was going to try and combine them together, and I kind of forgot about it.
Cool.
I guess that's on the backlog for next week.
Yeah, great. So are you happy with Dropbox, like doing it through Dropbox?
I don't see any problems with it. If it means that one particular person doesn't have to be around, I think that's progress. My bandwidth at the lake or at the cabin is very limited, so I might actually be able to turn the video on up at the cabin if it's recording to Dropbox. So I think that's probably a good way to go.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. There was an item on the news. I don't know if you heard on CBC about rural internet, because it's become an issue again.
Yeah, I didn't see it on CBC. I saw it kind of on a ticker tape at the bottom of the screen. Basically, it sounds like the CRTC gave SaskTel a big slap for making or not having rural internet up to broadband speed.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that the same in BC?
They were talking in general. They were talking about someone in Hamilton, Ontario. The guy lives 10 minutes from Hamilton, which is very urban. Hamilton is also like part of the greater mega Toronto. And he couldn't get, he has to use rural internet, like, I guess satellite, like you.
Wow.
He is it's a matter of meters. It's a matter of 100 meters or 200 meters from the cable, and they wanted something like, I don't know, it was like $40,000 or $72,000, I think, to extend to him.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And these are people who had moved there, and they kind of asked him, "Did you know that you would get that bandwidth when you moved?"
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't have come. Actually, we've actually had a neighbor who had his place up for sale a couple of times.
Right.
My son actually looked at the place, and one of the reasons, I mean, the price was right, but one of the reasons was because the internet is so bad, and he knows it's so bad. There's not a lot you can do about it.
Right. Wow.
In town, he's got fiber to the curb, And so he can, if he wants to pay for it, it's like $200 for 100 meg download speed. Out here, it's $120 for 10. So it's not so good.
Right. That's meters or speed? Sorry.
Yeah, 10 megabits download is $120
Oh, yeah.
a month.
Yeah, right.
And in town, it's less
Yeah.
money for 100 meg download. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's a kind of interesting thing. And definitely if and when I get my finances and taxes sorted out, which the taxes will be in 3 days, I'm going to take up the project again with that where I got the advice from Saskatchewan Access Cable, and seeing some options here. So I that's kind of a tangential but kind of interesting project.
So I thought a tower was your big problem. Nobody wanted the tower on the island. I don't see how that can
one
be
thing.
solved.
That's one thing. And then we might have to kind of do it on the lowdown if we do our own kind of net. This LimeNet, I think I sent you stuff about LimeNet before. It's a general purpose radio transmitter.
Okay.
You name
microcellular as well. Like
what's that?
Microcellular. It's actually 4G or 5G, and it's intended for a shopping mall or a very large house or that kind of thing. So the power is turned way down, and you can adjust it pretty interesting depending on how the antennas are set up.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't need it to be very tall. That was their big thing. Is if you have an office tower, and the office tower is more than 5 stories, you're pretty good.
Yeah, and that would be there's one that's like 2,000, like a base station. Is that what you're talking about?
This one was a little bit more. I think it was in the $5,000 range, but
right. They also have like various mini and micro ones down to the hundreds of dollars, with with the crank down business and so forth.
I think you have to hardwire them together
though. Okay. They're kits. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, if you want yours, which is a small geographic area connected to your neighbors, and then just kind of daisy chain along, you actually have to run fiber or Cat5 from you to your neighbor.
No, it's like a mesh net.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's different.
It can send Wi-Fi. It can send cellular signal. It can send any kind of radio signal.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's a kind of a guerrilla tool. You should be careful with.
Okay.
Yeah. I can send you Hackaday. That same weird site has had a lot of posts about it, reviews of it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that. I think that's all the stuff. Oh yeah, no, one more. Did you get to watch any of the and it turns out I said all weekend, it's not. It was 24 hours Maker Faire, virtual Maker Faire.
I dialed into 2 of them, but it was, I don't know whether their servers were getting hammered or what, or maybe it was just the fact that all the kids in the neighborhood decided to play video games at that time. I don't know, but it was pretty choppy, and I couldn't really understand what was going on. So,
which ones did you go into?
I have a list of them. I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there were several of them that looked interesting, but unfortunately, many of them were at the same time. So.
I got exhausted. I stayed up till 9 p.m. to watch one in Japan, which was that was the incredible one. I think that was the one. No, I don't remember. I don't know. There was one with the box, the PC it's a general purpose genetic testing box.
Well, that was the first one. That was Friday night because you sent me.
Yeah. PCR. Yeah, PCR. Yeah, that was just incredibly interesting. There was another one I want to watch about basically it's taken the research at Stanford. Like I have some of the N95 masks. They are too old to give to medical offices, but there's also no expiration date and they seem okay. And so you can bake them according to Stanford at 70 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. And you can do that 20 times. Trump talked about it. And they don't lose filtration for 20 times. And they seem to, and they're sterilized. And that seems to be, go ahead.
To douse it in isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
May take less time because it takes very long for that to evaporate.
Yeah.
You dunk it for like 5 minutes, and then when you take it out, you just let it air dry, and it's supposed to be good. I haven't tried it myself.
Pardon me?
I haven't tried it myself. This is what I read.
Yeah, there's several methods, and this box that they've set up uses several of them, including kind of moist heat or steam.
Okay.
And then it dries it, and then it puts in an electrostatic charge, because that came in the other one I watched. I watched one about this $10 mask testing device. And so you end up kind of like Edison. Thomas Edison testing. The idea is my thought is that people around the world can just start testing every combination of every material. And one of the things that came out of that was that the electrostatic charge on the mask is really important.
Okay, as the particle size gets lower, I could see that. Kind of like the electrostatic filter in your furnace.
Yeah, and I would imagine someone's developed something with a little battery that's like that electrostatic filter too. So
sure. Because the mask is touching your face, I'm not sure how you do that exactly.
A low voltage. It might make you twitch a little bit.
If you had 2 layers of mask and you did the one that was closest to you as negative and the one is positive.
Yeah, it would wake you up. Yeah, anyway, I found that really interesting. And actually, he had tested things. So he answered my question. So it was a Zoom meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I signed on to it. I wrote in a question. And both researchers, one of them is a micro. I don't remember all the. One was a physicist, and one was had something to do with microbiology or something like that. And they both answered the question. I asked if he had tested coffee filters because I'd read about people making masks from coffee filters. And his answer was, I tried 4 coffee filters and they weren't much better than any cloth mask. Okay. But it's clever. The thing he does, he just uses an old smoke alarm, which I have, and then a little bellows you can buy. And then the cheap one anyway, puffs. He puffs until the smoke alarm goes off. And he uses incense, doesn't use real virus, obviously, but they found that the particles in incense, the incense was from dollar store, and the particle, it had the tiny particles that you get in, it had particles similar in size that they're talking about with the N95 mask. So the N95 mask took 300 puffs before the smoke alarm went off. The average cloth mask takes 3 or 4 puffs. But they also pointed out, go ahead.
What about the N95 one that he cleaned?
They did that at Stanford. I don't know how. They used probably more expensive standard testing of droplets.
Okay.
That's what they did, because it was very, obviously I tried it at a slightly higher temperature and it melted. So
Mhm.
obviously, like my convection oven wouldn't go down below 200. It turned out my conventional oven goes to 170. That's its Fahrenheit.
Yep.
And 200 was way too hot. So they tested at every temperature and found the optimum temperature that worked.
So you have to
And if you
calibrate
go
your
on the
stove.
website, what's that?
How do you calibrate your stove? My stove, when I say
I
go to
have
200, doesn't come anywhere close.
I have a thermometer. Oh, pardon me. I'm holding it up to the light, not the camera. You see that? It's a rather poor
Mhm.
meat thermometer, but I stick it in through the door. So it props the door open a bit, but I can get an idea that, yes, it's reaching the temperature it says it's reaching.
If you stick the meat thermometer on the grates
Mm-hmm.
and kind of prop it on one edge so that you
Yeah.
can see if you open the door, you can just
Yeah.
leave it for 10 minutes and then let it stabilize and open the door and see what it gets to.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that tip. I didn't know if the plastic on the top could take it, but it's very low temperature overall.
The meat
So it's
thermometer that I have
paper.
is metal inside, so
Yeah, this one's got a kind of rubbery parts. It's not good. It's waterproof. Oh, you know what? I can take off. I can take it off. I did not realize that's a little bladder to protect it.
just a
So
cover,
I
right?
can. Yeah, it's a cover. I can take it off. Did not know that. Learned something.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. All right. That's it for
Okay.
the recording. So bye, everybody.
Okay. How do I stop recording?
Uh-huh.
Button again? Yeah. Three
Yeah.
dots and then
There's a lot in those 3 buttons. There's also
yeah.
some controls if you're using a computer,
Yep.
but not on a tablet or a phone.